I'll just repeat the supplies needed. First of all, white canvas, blue, white, and brown acrylic paint bottles, paint brushes. One should be a little flat brush with you and the other a thin one. Seashells, liquid glue, paper towels, and a cup of water to clean the brushes. So I hope you all have the supplies ready with you. In case you want me to wait for a second, I can wait, or we can start the session right away. I would love to have some interaction in between and see your lovely art pieces. So this is the art piece, as you have already seen, that we are going to create. Now, since it is freehand painting, there might be some difference in each of our arts because the medium, the art medium that we are going to use is acrylic paints. It depends upon the amount of paint that you take of each color that creates the shade for that color. But you will be learning a few techniques along with creating this canvas art. So you can just take a look at it, and I'll just keep it away so that I can bring in my canvas. Now, as you can see, I have kept some sheets of paper at the bottom just to keep my table clean. So if you have any rough paper or you have any paper towel, you can just keep it on your table or the base so that the acrylics, they don't come on the table because it's a little tough to take them off later on. So I've just kept some pieces of paper on the table, and now I'm keeping my canvas. So my canvas is ready. I hope yours is ready too. The next thing is the blue color acrylic paint. Yours might be a different brand, but the shade must be similar to the one that I have. So the main thing is that you should have a blue colored acrylic paint. And I think if you haven't opened it, just open it, unscrew it. And here there is no paper, but you might be having some paper stuck on it. So just take it off carefully. Just take it off completely so that when you screw it back, the color can come out easily from here. So you can just watch first and then start creating your design. So you can see in the reference design, I have made the sky, then I have made the water, and then I've made the sand. So we'll start from the top with the sky. So that's why I've taken blue color. Now, instead of taking the color on my palette, I'm going to take some color on the top of the canvas. So you can see, I'm just taking 1 or 2 blobs of this color on my canvas. I'm trying to be a little slow so that it's easier to follow. Don't want you to have a big blob of color on your canvas. So you can see I am putting a little blob on the left, very little on the right, so that I'm able to cover it. Now, the next thing is you must be having 2 kinds of brushes, one a flat brush, one a thinner brush. So take first the flat brush. And now this entire canvas, we don't have to cover the entire canvas with blue color. Just take where I'm pointing out less than half. You can see where my finger is. Just use your judgment. It need not be perfectly till that size. Somewhere on the top, less than half where I'm pointing my finger, take a little color on your brush. You don't need to wet your brush. It should be dry. So with this, I'll be introducing my technique. I'm going to name it soon. So just take a little color on the tip of your flat brush, and somewhere where I was pointing, create a rough line like this so that you know where you have to paint this blue color. So from left to right or from right to left, create a line like this. Usually in freehand drawing, we don't do this, but I want to make it easier for you in case you are doing it for the first time. So now next thing is the brush is dry. So since the brush is dry, the first technique is called the dry brush technique. You want to write it down, you can write it. It's a simple term and it connects to what we are doing. It is dry brush and we are spreading the color with the dry brush on the canvas. So you can see I'm moving from left to right and then vice versa from right to left. So this way it is giving a smooth texture on the canvas. Just do it smoothly and enjoy because I feel it's quite relaxing when you spread the color. Now, you must have taken almost same amount of color as I did. In case it is excess, you can just keep on spreading it like this. So this way we are creating the base for our painting. Now, if you want, you can even color the sides of the canvas, the edges of the canvas, so that no white portion shows up. Since we have enough color on the brush, in case you don't have enough color, take a little bit more color on the palette or a tray. But in case you have enough, you can just hold the canvas and I hope I am being seen easily and just spread it on the sides as well. That's why I asked you to keep some rough paper at the bottom so that your table or the base doesn't get stained. So the color that we are using on the top, I'm just coloring that portion on the edge as well. And I think I have enough color, so I'm going to turn it this way, as you can see, and I'm going to color the top edge. This way you don't have to wash your brush every time, and then after completing the painting, you don't need to color the edges. This way you are just doing it along with coloring your main painting or the canvas. So I'm just spreading it with my brush. I hope till now everyone is able to do it easily. In case you have any questions, please ask me right away. So I think this edge is done. I am going to angle it this way and now spread the color on the right hand side too, the right hand side edge of my canvas. Try to color it till the part where you have colored the main part of the canvas. So this is the easiest part to create a base so that the white portion of the canvas doesn't show up. So as you saw, I took a dry brush with no water. Since acrylic paints, they have a good texture. You don't need much of water for them. So I just spread it in one direction. So the direction also matters. Keep the direction in the same way, like from left to right or from right to left. So in that way, the strokes will be even and smooth. And I already introduced with the first technique that's called the dry brush technique. And it relates to what we are doing, that we are using a dry brush to color the canvas. Now, the color is kind of wet for us. It's not dried up yet. So just take your thin brush. My shape of the brush might be different. Yours might be different, but it's okay. It should be a thin brush. Keep this brush, which has the blue color, still on your color palette or whatever tray you have, and take the white color. Open it the same way as we did for the blue color. I can wait for a second for you to open it. Now I'm taking my tray or the color palette, that whatever you have, so that you can have some white color on the tray. We are not putting it on the canvas. We are going to put it on the palette. I hope it comes out. So mine just came out quickly, a big blob of white paint. So it's okay. We are going to use it throughout our beach painting. Now I'm going to take a thin brush and dip it in my white color. You can use your judgment how much you want to take, and the amount of color you take, the same shade will come out on your blue color, since we are going to use this white color on the blue base that we have created. Now you can just watch and then you can follow. Now from left, I'm going to create a few strokes on my blue color. You can see it is blending in on the base. That's the blue color. I just used 3-4 strokes to mix it with the dark blue color. So you can see a white stroke on the blue stroke, and it is giving a very smooth or a soft stroke to it. So this will help you understand the second technique, which is called, or we can say not a technique but a term, that is called the soft edge. When you are taking some color, light color, and glazing it on or layering it on a darker color, which is the base, instead of creating a separate stroke, you are blending it in the dark base color. And that is why the smooth texture that it is creating, this technique or the term is called soft edge or smooth edge. You can write it down if you want. These are quite simple terms and they're quite relate to what we are doing. Now I created some white tinge to my sky. I added to it. Now I'm going to take some white color again on the brush, somewhere on the tip, as you can see. And from right to left, I am creating these soft edges or smooth edges by blending them with the dark base color that I have. You don't need to follow the same direction or the same place where I'm doing it, but please do it in the same direction, that is from right to left. So keep on doing from right to left or left to right, but don't go from top to bottom. Then in that case, the entire stroke will not look good. So we are blending the white color with the blue color and creating a light blue tinge and giving a new shade to our sky. Now, this mixture of dry brush technique and soft edge, there comes up another technique. It is called overlaying or glazing. As you can see, we are overlaying white color on the blue color, or whichever painting you want to create later on. You can actually use this technique by adding some light color to your dark color, whichever color or contrast you are using. Here I'm using blue and white to explain you the technique, which is called overlaying or glazing. You can write it down if you want, or later on we can share it with you in the follow-up email, which Lynn does. And why is it called overlaying? Because we are overlaying a color on another color, a light color on a dark color, blending it in with the dark color. So that is why it is called overlaying or glazing. I hope it is clear. I try to relate it to the way we do the thing so that it's easier to remember the term later on and you don't need to refer somewhere. Now, again, I'm asking if you have any questions, you can ask anytime about any technique that you didn't follow. I am adding again some white color. Now you see that my blue color has dried up a little. So this white will show up more and give a good texture to the sky. So these kind of techniques, the 3 techniques that I have told, are specially used in creating the sky, a sunset or a sunrise design or texture. Now this way, I'm just moving from right to left and creating a white stroke to give a good natural look to the sky. Now I'm coming to the left and creating a white stroke or texture, creating a gradient look for the sky. I hope it is relaxing for you all. I feel acrylic painting is quite relaxing. You can add a little more texture of white to it. So keep on adding a little gap in between. Don't just move from left to right with white color. Add a little gap so that some blue portion also shows up. So smoothly just move from left to right and it will create a good texture. So with the sky, we have learned 3 techniques. I'll just repeat them again: dry brush, soft edges, overlaying, and glazing. So it is not only in this painting, you can create any painting with these techniques and they will come out really good. I hope everyone's is coming out good till now. A thumbs up would encourage me. So one part of the sky is created. We will add a little bit more texture to it once it dries up a little. Next portion we are going to create is the water. So water, I am thinking of creating a little lighter than what we have here for the sky so that we can have a distinction between the sky and the water. Now, as you had noticed, we used dark color first for the base for the sky, and then we used the white color, that is a light color. Next, for the water, I'm going to use it opposite. That is first white color for the base and then the dark blue color on top of it for the strokes. The techniques that we are going to use are the same as we used for the sky. So the first 3 techniques will be repeated for water as well. So now you have some white and a little bit blue on your thin brush, maybe. So it's okay. We don't need to wash it right now because we need a bluish tinge in our water, a light blue tinge in our water. So I have enough, I think, white color on my tray. In case you don't, you can put some more white color on your color palette or the tray. And as we did earlier, let's create a line so that we know till which part we have to create the water. So somewhere more than halfway, that is, this must be half for the canvas, just an estimate. A little bit more where I'm pointing out, more than half from top, just create a line with your brush. Here I'm using thin brush since I already have white color on it. You can also use the same. So I created a rough line so that I know I have to color it as water, this much portion, and the rest will be sand. So for that, we'll be using brown color. Now, the way we did the sky, same way, we are going to color it in the same direction with white color, and you must be having some blue tinge in it. It's okay because it's easier because we are going to add some blue color to the water as well. So I'm just moving to and fro from left to right and right to left smoothly. Keep on adding. And I hope my screen is clear to all. I know my hand will come in between, distracting you, but this is how I have to do. I hope everybody is enjoying it because I am thankful to Lynn that she introduced me with this. Though I used to do acrylic art, I have created some sculptures too, and colored them with acrylic paint. But creating a small canvas is so relaxing. It doesn't take much time, but it seems to be so cute and beautiful. So you can see what I did. I have come up till the top or the bottom of the sky and top of the water where it is meeting. Now my blue color was not as much dry as we need later on. So to blend in the blue color and the white color, you can just move your brush from left to right and from right to left to blend in or to create kind of a horizon between the sky and the water. And it blends in very easily, and it takes away some blue color from the sky, bringing it to the water. So this way, you'll have some blue color, a light blue shade for your water, and both these water and the sky, they will not look separate. It will seem that they are meeting each other very smoothly. Once you have covered this portion with white color or the light blue color, I'll be telling you the next step. I'll just zoom it a little bit. Now, you must be having some blue color on your flat brush already. In case not, you can take a little blob of blue color on your tray or your palette so that you can use the flat brush to add some layers or strokes of blue color on the water effect that we are creating. So I think I have some blue color on my brush. I can use it. Now, instead of using it widthwise like this throughout, I'm going to use it just the tip going from left like this, the way you are comfortable. So you can see I'm just using the tip going from left to right, or if you want, you can go from right to left. So you can see I'm just creating some blue strokes, keeping a little space in between, kind of waves for the water. Now, my blue color is almost finished on the brush, so I can add a little bit more blue color to my tray. It comes out so fast, doesn't even wait. So I'll just add some blue color on my flat brush. Take out the extra just by rubbing it on the tray so that there is not much of it. Now I'm going to use the same way as we did earlier, just widthwise like this. From left to right, then leave it. Then from right to left, leave it. If you want more of blue color, you can just give one more stroke to it like this. There might be some canvas part showing up, the white color. You can just cover it with more of your blue color. So I'm just adding a little bit and then giving a good stroke for some dark or dark effect, a little dark effect to the water. So keep some part light, as you can see in the middle. Yours might be a little dark at the top and light at the bottom, or vice versa. It's okay. All we need is a little bit difference between the sky and the water. I hope this is clear and everybody is enjoying. A little thumbs up would help. Now, I'm just adding a little bit more. It depends on you, how much you want to add. If you want to keep it little light, you can keep it light. If you want to make it dark, you can make it dark. Now, these were the same techniques as we used for the sky. Now, take your thin brush again, since we need to add some white color again on the water, so that you can see your canvas might be having some white spots in between. It does happen. So to cover that, we need some white color. I'm using my thin brush and I'm just going to overlap this white color on the blue color like this and the portion where the canvas is showing up. Because once it dries up, this part will go away, but I don't want to take any risk. We can cover it since the color is still wet. So you can see I'm just just giving some smooth strokes from left to right on the parts which are showing some canvas part. So you can also do the same. Just keep on overlapping from left to right and right to left, and it will get covered. Take some more color. So here is the place where there was some canvas showing up. So I'm just adding some white color to it. I think once you learn these techniques, it just depends on how much creatively you do the work, and your painting comes out really good. And I would also suggest, though I was going to say this at the end, I would suggest that try to use a varnish. I can send the varnish link to Lynn so that she can share it with you. After your painting dries up, you can use a varnish and just with the same kind of brush, a flat brush, and keep it about 2 days to dry up, and it will give a good shine to your painting, and it will be safe and secure. It won't be spoiled later on because the varnish, it keeps your painting intact. So you can see almost my water part is done. This part, which is showing up some canvas, I'm going to add some white color to it so it just gives a good effect of water as well. So it is basically overlapping blue color over white color over blue, blending them together and creating good shade of color for your painting. So we are done with the sky and we are done with the water. Later on, once this dries up, we can add a few strokes to give a better effect if you want. Now the sides are still white. If you want to color them, just take some blue color and some white color. Just mix them as I'm mixing so that you get a light color. And just turning it this way. So till the part you have, I hope it's seen, I'll just unzoom it. So till the part you have your water on the canvas, till that part, draw a line and then color it the way we did for the sky part, just the edges. This gives a complete look to your painting. Then the white portion doesn't show up and the color just continues till the edge. So smoothly. Now here you can change the direction of your strokes because it won't be seen. I think I have covered this part. Now I'm going to cover the right part, mixing white and blue, the same shade that I created. Here I'm just going to create a line just to make it easy and then color it on the side. Again, if you have any questions about the technique or about acrylic art, you can ask anytime. Or if you have any step you want me to repeat, I can do that. I'm just adding a little white on the canvas too. So wherever you feel that you have left some part, you can just overlap the color on it. So we are done with 3 techniques and 2 parts of our painting. That's the sky and the water. Now next is our sand that we have to create with brown color and again white color. As I told earlier, white is the main hero of our painting because white will be used in each shade that we are creating. So let this part dry. Till that time, what we can do is wash our brushes. You must be having a cup of water. I'll just put both the brushes in water and try to clean them with each other like this. I know acrylic paints are difficult to take them off as compared to watercolors. So, but since these are quite wet right now, they will be able to come off. So you must be having some paper towels with you. In case you don't, you can just grab them. Or if you have some extra brush, you can just leave them aside and use another brush if you want. I do have some extra, but I just want to go with you all, go along with you, what you are doing. So I'll use these brushes, I'll wash them. Just try to take off the color as much as you can, and then you can just use your paper towel. I'm just taking the paper towel, and I think it will absorb the color, any color that is there, since next what we are going to use is the brown color. So the blue color should completely come off. So I'm just trying to take off this color. It is absorbing it. If you want to dip it again in water. And try to see if it comes off. Dipping it again. So you can use your own judgment how much time you want to dip it and clean it. I think cleaning takes much more time than actually painting for acrylic paints. So, but I think it is worth all the effort. Once you create this painting, you'll actually adore it. And the blue is all coming out. Even some of it, if it is left, it's okay because brown is a dominating color, so it will cover up the blue. But please check that your brush is not wet before using it for the sand or the brown color. I'm keeping this aside to just dry up and then taking out my thin brush. I think the thin one was much easier to clean since it just had more of white color and it has less bristles than the flat one. So keeping that aside, bringing the flat brush again. And I think we have a clean, dry brush. I hope you're also done with this part. I know it was a little time consuming. I'm bringing back my painting. So the next part, I hope everybody has a clean brush now. In case not, I can wait for a second and we can continue. Otherwise, I can wait. So I think everybody is ready. So this is my flat brush. I just checked. It's not wet, it's dry. So now I'm going to take my brown color. Please open it the way you did for the previous two colors. I'm going to, I have my white color already on the tray. It has a little blue, but it's okay. It will mix up with the brown color and it won't have much effect. So I'm adding some brown color to my white color. Just use your judgment how much you want, almost same as much you have on your tray. Like equal proportion of white and brown is good. More or less, it's okay because we are just going to create a light shade of brown for the base of the sand effect that we are going to create. And mix it. Now, you must be having a lighter tinge to your brown color by mixing the white color. And I have just taken out some extra on the tray. We will need good enough amount of brown color to cover the entire white part now we are having with brown color, light brown color. Now, in case it is not like comfortable for you to paint it putting on the base, you can just hold it and hold it with one hand from the bottom and then start painting it to and fro from left to right. Just smoothly cover this part. You can even color the edge, the down part of the canvas along if you want. So very simple, just keep on coloring the bottom part to create the sand effect. I'm just keeping it and I've just zoomed it for you, taking some more color. So we are just covering the lower portion, the sand portion of the canvas. Keep on overlapping. Now the technique. This is the fourth technique of basic technique of acrylic art. It is called layering and blending. I had already used the term blending. This technique is called layering because we are mixing two colors, brown and white, light color and dark color, together to create a blend or a shade or for our art. And this technique, again, I'll repeat, is called layering. That is Layering. We can also name it as blending since we are blending two colors together to create layers of color on your painting. Now here, this part is still white as you can see. As I told you, use the same strokes and same direction. Here you can use a little bit top to bottom approach because this part is a little tough to color and the white part still shows up. So the place where it is tough for you to color in that direction, you can change the direction. Since it is dark color, the strokes will not matter much here. See, it is still giving a good uh, smoothness to your painting. Now, once you have done from top to bottom, you can again start from left to right, like this. So this way, it will give a smooth texture to your strokes. I am taking more color. In case you need more color, you can pour in some more color on your tray and mix it with the white color. So you can see I am now blending it in with the water like this. You need not make it too straight. It can be a little wavy like the way I'm creating. And you can see I'm creating the bristles, the top portion, the tip of my flat brush to create a line touching the water like this. So you can see there is still some white part on my canvas and you might be having it too. So you can cover it the same way as we did for the water. Add some brown color on the tray again in case you don't have much. And then mix it with some white color. I'm just pouring it in and I'll show you soon. I'm just mixing them together. The proportion of your white and brown doesn't matter much. It will come out with a light color, light brown color. I think I have enough mixed brown color. And I'm going to overlap it on my already painted base. So I'm just covering the lower part or the edge of the canvas too like this. And bringing it on the top too. So with the sand, you were able to learn the fourth technique, which is called layering. Now hold it carefully, and for the right hand side of my canvas, the edge, I'm taking some more mixed brown and white color and covering the right edge. Sometimes your shade might be a little light, sometimes your shade might be a little dark, but it's okay. It will give a good gradient look to your art. Now I am just overlapping the shade that I had created on the base, the brown color that I had already put. So right now I'm just showing the sand part. Now you can see in between the water and the sand, there is a little bit white portion of the canvas that's showing up. Now what you can do is, I'm just keeping it down. Take some white color, just the white acrylic paint. You can see I have a little white acrylic paint here, so I'm just using it. Just take it on the tip of your same flat brush. It's okay if you have brown in it. It will mix up good and it will create a good gradient look for the sand. Now I'm going to put it on the part which is still showing up white in between the water and the sand. So I'll just hold it carefully since I have some color on the edges. Some color might come on your hands, but it's okay. And I'm using the tip, just the bristles on the top. And you can see I'm just creating a simple line, broad line, covering the portion between the water and the sand. Now I'm just using it in a normal way, the brush, moving from left to right, a little bit more, just using the tip and creating a good dividing line between the water and the sand. I hope everybody is enjoying, and your entire canvas must be filled with color now. So I'm just putting it here. I think one side of my canvas is still white on the sand part. I'm going to color it brown, but for that I need to hold it carefully. So I'll just hold it like this and add some color to my brush, some brown color. I'll just unzoom it and then color the left edge of the canvas. So these are the 4 basic techniques of acrylic art, and these you can use for any kind of acrylic art that you are creating, especially when you are creating something related to a sunset or a beach scene, what we are already creating, or a sunrise or a simple sky or water texture. So I have colored the left hand side, and I think the base for our beach scene is ready, and the only thing left is sticking in some seashells, which is the main part that we are having this session. And I hope you all have your seashells ready with you and a few rhinestones. And yes, definitely you will be needing some liquid glue with you. So if you don't have, you can just grab it right away. I think everybody is ready with it. I'm just adjusting it so that it's seen nicely. So you can see in the sand as well, I have created two kind of shades on the brown color, because initially the white color was more, so it was light. Later the white color was less and the brown color was more, so it was dark. So it is just the proportion of color. The more dark color you take, the more dark shade will it be, and the light color you take, the lighter shade it will be. Now just grab in your seashells. I'm having them all together, keeping the rhinestones a little away. Around 8 to 10 seashells should be enough. Some big, some small. I hope you all have that many. So just keeping it here. Now take the biggest of all the seashells you have, so that there is a little synchrony in the seashells that we are going to stick. I'm taking the biggest of all I have, and it's very easy. We all know how to stick it. Just put some liquid glue on the edges at the back of the seashell. So I'm just taking my glue and putting some glue on the edges. It will take a little time to stick, but the acrylic paint is also wet, so it will help in sticking it nicely and quickly. Now, you can choose your way how you want to stick it, which direction you want to stick it. I'm thinking the pointed part, I'm going to stick it towards the left hand side like this. So the pointed part of the seashell, I'm just sticking it towards the left. Just press it and it will be intact in some time. Now I'm going to take a smaller seashell, this much. But it's your choice, whatever size you want to take. Just see that it looks in good proportion on the sand and it doesn't cover the sand. So there should be a little gap in between. And sticking it somewhere towards the left corner. I'm really excited to see all of your artworks by the end of the session. Taking one more seashell, adding some glue. And I think I'll just stick it somewhere on the right, as you can see, on top of the sand where it starts. Now take another. I'm trying to take smaller ones because I want the sand to show up. So I'm keeping a little gap in between. So sticking them is the easiest part, and I think it's the most fun part for me. Just adding it in between, because we need to leave some space for the rhinestones as well. It would give a good glittering look to your beach scene. Taking one more seashell. So you can see I'm going from left to right and I'm going to stop here, as you can see from my hand, diagonally, not filling in the entire sand. Adding glue. And sticking it this way. You can use your own creativity, the way you want to stick it, the direction you want to stick it. Now taking a very cute small seashell. And I think I should stick it somewhere here. I have used 6 seashells. I think 4 more should be good enough. Now, I think I'll be putting it at the bottom here. Since it is still not dried, I'm just moving one of the seashells. It was too near to my last seashell that I just stuck. Now, a few more, and then we'll come up to our rhinestones. Just an idea that in case you don't want to create a blue sky, you want to create a sunset or a sunrise for the beach scene, you can use the same techniques with yellow and orange color. So the dark color will be orange and the yellow color will be light one. So it will be the same techniques, but the colors will be different and a different kind of scene. Now this seashell is down at the bottom and a small one. Let's add it here. I think one more and then we'll start using the rhinestones. Somewhere here I'll put it so it should complete from left to right diagonally. Putting it here. And I use 10 seashells only for this amount or for this size of canvas. These should be good and the seashells won't look overcrowded. Now let's take our rhinestones. Now it depends on you which color you have or which color you want to use, what size you want to use. I'm going to start with the one that I have. I have these ones. So I'm going to start with the round ones, which is more light in color and it will show up more on the brown dark color. So I'm taking a very glittery one, a white one or a silver one, and just putting it in between the seashells. As you can see, I'll just zoom it. Now I'm going to take a yellow one. So just a contrast should look good. Some light colors on the dark and put them in between the way you want it to look like. I can even take a bigger one if you have a bigger one. I'm going to take a big rhinestone and stick it on somewhere in between the seashells. Then take a little smaller one too. A variety should be good. So a few small ones and a few big ones and a few very big ones. Keeping the pink one now and a little big one here. You can add as many as you want. I'm adding a few more. Different colors, different sizes. I think these rhinestones, they add more glitter and they illuminate the entire painting since the colors that we are using for the beach scene are quite sober and soft. So a little glitter would add more contrast and brightness to your seashell art. I think these are enough for me. You can even put a few on the seashell and I think they should stick on it like this. I'll just zoom it. You can see I just stuck it on the seashell and it did stick on it. You can add a few of different colors on top of it too. In case it doesn't stick, you can add a little liquid glue to it and it will stick. It will remain intact for a longer time. And as I said, once your painting is dried up, about a day after it is dried, just add some varnish to it with the brush and let it dry for 2 days. And it will be safe and shiny, I think, for a very long time. It will have a good life with the varnish. Added a few rhinestones on the seashell. Now, as I said earlier, our painting is complete, but if you want to add a little bit more texture because the color is almost dried up, in case not, it will not mix up or blend in with the new color you add. So if you want to add a little bit of brown or a blue or a white tinge, you want to add some more brightness to your painting, you can do so. Like I can just show you. My thin brush is clean right now, so I can use some white color on the sky. I feel it is getting a little bit more dark. I can add a little bit white color, just giving an example. So you can just improvise later once your painting has dried up by adding more colors or shades to it. Like I'll just show you. Adding some white color on the tray. Adding it to my brush. So as we did earlier, I'm just adding a few simple strokes on the side, like on the left hand side, then a few on the right hand side. So here the white color will be more bright since your base color has almost dried. So just to give you an example, you can improvise your painting once the color has dried up. So just adding a little bit more. And we are done with our painting. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I'm really excited to see all of your beach art, how you have created, and I'm sure it must be wonderful. Any questions you have, you can ask me. Anything you want to say, any advice you want to say, just let me know.